I know that we the new slaves. I see the blood on the leaves. They throwing hate at me, want me to stay at ease. Fuck you and your corporation, y'all niggas can't control me. I know that we the new slave. I know that we the new slave.
Yo, sit back and grab a drink, cause this is gonna be a long one, bro. And what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan the game, and also the Rebel, the YouTube Underground. And this is gonna be a vlog. Now, it's not a game of commentary, no game in the background. It's just me talking. I'm gonna address a few things, man, because I'm tired of hearing all these Microsoft fanboys and slaves out here. These new little Microsoft slaves out here supporting this game that is just trying to enslave you and to stop you from, you know, it's just basically being a communist of consoles, dog. Like it's trying to limit your whole access and restrict you and all that stuff, man. And I don't understand why these fools are supporting this thing. Well, I actually do. They're like Uncle Tom's, dog. Like, Microsoft can't do nothing wrong with them, man. Like, man, I love my master Microsoft. They got the best controller. It's so big it fit my big old hands. I can't put my hand around that little Sony controller. So Master Xbox, you know, they just make the best product for me. I enjoy them. I love them to death. This is some Uncle Tom's, bro. Like, you supporting something that rips you off, yo. I don't understand what's wrong with y'all. Look, alright, look, basically this is what's going on, man. I'm tired of seeing these few videos of these commentators trying to damage control Microsoft and say that they won the conference, dog, being some little fanboys. And none of the stuff they're saying make any sense whatsoever. Look, it's only two people I really watched. This toothless fat dude, and that was linked by a guy that also made videos, my dude John Doe. And I've been cool with John Doe since I started doing commentary. Like, I think he started hitting me up like five commentaries I did when I used to do all them EA Sports football videos. And he would hit me up like, man, I enjoyed your commentary stuff. And then like later on he said that he started doing commentaries, and I started checking him out to see what he was doing over there and all that stuff. And we was cool, hooked up, became friends on the Xbox and all that stuff, man. And we was good since then. But now recently, man, he just been on some BS. I don't know what's wrong with yo, but dude keep on he keeps supporting all the worst people, man. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with this dude, man. Like, with the EA Sports thing, like, he's supporting these EA haters, man. They hate anything EA Sports put out. He's been with them. That's J Music, put him in the game all that. He was side with them, been in Skype with them and all that stuff. And now he's with what JG likes to consider the hate community. These guys that they basically just talk about video games, but they all hate on each other and talk about each other and beef with each other. It's like watching high school girls basically over there. That's all they do is they just make videos talking about each other and exposing each other and all this crazy stuff. It's just a whole bunch of drama. It's like one of the funniest things like communities to be around. They don't show any games whatsoever. All they do is do vlogs about games, but they're supposed to be gamers, but they don't show no kind of games though. But anyway, he's been side with them, and then he did like a video with like I think three talking about how Microsoft really won the conference and Sony didn't show anything but multiplats. They didn't show no games but multiplats. Like Xbox didn't show no multiplats. I mean, the first thing they showed was Metal Gear Solid, which was a multiplat. You know, and then they went and showed other games like Titanfall, multiplat, because it's on the PC also. You know, things like that, dog. So that's what I'm tripping off of. Like, why are these guys trying to damage control Microsoft like they're not getting ripped off? These dudes are basically pulling their Johnson out and having you lick their balls right now. That's basically what's going on. Y'all are some real ball lickers. Like, it ain't even about the exclusive rights. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. When I was watching the Sony conference, I was bored when they was talking about all that information and stuff, like the media and all that, and the indie games, because I don't really get down with indie games. I was like, yo, this is boring. Like, and at the time, I was saying Microsoft was winning, but I'm such a Sony fanboy, like John Doe said in his video, that I just support Sony all the way. But if he was actually in a Skype call with Mono War Negro and JG, they were both listening to me saying like, yo, I'm bored. This is boring. Yo, Microsoft is winning right now. And then that's when Sony started going in with the, you know, the Kingdom Hearts and all that. And that's another thing that John Doe pointed out. He was like, yo, Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, they're not even exclusives. They multiplats. And he was right. I was like, okay, that's cool. They right. He right. But, and I just saw recently, he said that, you know, Microsoft, on his last video, he left a comment saying Microsoft took 3 games from Sony, which is Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and Metal Gear Solid. If he knew anything about games, because I can tell you about John Doe, he's talking all this exclusive stuff right here. But if you know John Doe, if you play on Xbox Live and have him on your friends list, he only plays one game year round, and that is NCAA. He plays Dynasty the whole year with that, and then he'll play Final Fantasy X on the PC or console, whatever he plays it on. There's only 2 games. The only other game I seen him play was Gears of War 3, and that's because people got him to get it, and he only played it for less than a month. And then he was back to NCAA the whole year. That's all he plays is NCAA. He don't play no exclusives, no other multiplats but NCAA. That's all he plays. So I don't understand his whole argument with all that, they don't have any exclusives on the PlayStation 4. And then, let's talk about the exclusives anyway. The exclusives on Xbox are exclusives we don't even know about. First of all, they didn't even show gameplay on like just about 75% of them. Like we only saw gameplay I think on like 2. And that was Rise and Dead Rising 3. And Dead Rising 3 is the one I want. Rise was too many quick time events. I already said that in my last video. But Dead Rising actually looks pretty good. Like that's the game I would like to play. Killer Instincts was one too, but Killer Instincts doesn't look like Killer Instincts right now to me. It looks like Street Fighter. But I know Matt did say in his video, and it made sense. He said it was in alpha form or beta or whatever it was. So we don't know what they can add later on. They might add the blood to it that falls on the ground and drenches the ground like Mortal Kombat, because that's what Killer Instincts was. It was basically, kind of like Mortal Kombat. It was competing with MK back then, so they had to have the blood and the little finishing moves that were pretty much lame on that game, but they had them. They had to have all that, so they could add that back. By the time the game comes out. And a lot of people saying that it's free to play, but you only could use one character and you have to buy the rest. You can also just opt out to buy the game because it's free to play, but you can also just buy the game for like I think $50 or $60 and get everything. So that'd be the best bet. It's just that if you want to play for free, then you can just play. It don't make any sense, but that's what you can do. So he's talking about all these exclusives, dog, but he don't even play exclusives. But then Xbox has never been known for exclusives. They get exclusives, but then the exclusives disappear. Like you can go through the original Xbox all the way to Xbox 360, and you can't find an exclusive that is actually good other than Halo and Gears of War. Like I told Cookie Monster that because we were talking about how all these people talking these exclusives, but nobody plays them on the 360. The only thing people play is Call of Duty and Halo, and then maybe some Gears of War, and that's it in sports games. So I was like, yeah, like name an exclusive on Xbox that's actually good other than Halo 4 and Gears of War, and I'll wait. And like he retweeted that sucker, and nobody replied to me because no one could think of one because they're not known for it. So they can have Dead Rising and Rise, but I'm pretty sure Rise is not even going to be that good. It's probably going to be real short. Probably not going to be that epic. It's probably going to be very repetitive. And yeah, it looks like it's a slow-paced game too. So it's not going to be a God of War or Infamous or, all these other exclusives that Sony has that are actually good. And Jack and Daxter, all these games that weren't announced, Uncharted, the show, things like that. All these other games that Sony is known for having exclusives for and also getting exclusives like a game that's just coming out recently that's about to come out called The Last of Us that is very, very good and very highly anticipated, which isn't exclusive because Sony gets them all the time. We're not talking about all that. But, like I said, no one can name a good exclusive on the Xbox that's not Halo and Gears of War. So that whole argument's gone. And then plus Nintendo showed more exclusives than both of them. So let's all just go buy Nintendo. Nintendo is the way to go since we're all going by exclusives. You dig? So it doesn't make any sense to me. Plus Xbox showed a game called D4 or whatever it's called, and they announced this by Swery65. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Swery65. But Swery is known for a game called Deadly Premonition. Deadly Premonition, dog. And that game was so bad that it was considered good. It was just because it was just so broken of a game. And by the way, this is an article showing the licensing of Xbox One. And we're going to talk about this later. But basically, this guy made a game that was the textures were so bad. The gameplay was just horrible. Like the movement and all the stuff just looked unrealistic. It looked like it was rushed. It was made by like a lower developer and all that stuff. It had music that would play at the wrong time. Like it would be a dramatic scene where somebody like died or someone's getting hurt, and then it plays some song that goes like that, and it's like stupid happy sounding, and you're like, why would they play that? Like, why would they play that right now? That is how bad that game is. So they're supporting a guy named Swery65 who's known for making a horrible game that only is famous because it was that bad. So I really can't go off of their exclusives, and Mirror's Edge isn't that great either. So, but like I said, if John Doe did his history saying that Xbox stole Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear Solid, he would know that, you know, Metal Gear started on a console or a system called the MSX. It was a computer or something like that. And then later on was on Nintendo all the way till Sony came out. And Final Fantasy was on Nintendo all the way till Sony came out. And Kingdom Hearts was the only one that was on Sony. So in fact, they only took one game that was an exclusive to Sony. Everything else was a multiplat from the long run. And if before it was a multiplat, it was a Nintendo exclusive. So if anything, they took from Nintendo, or Sony took from Nintendo, so it still was a multiplat. So do your history, man, before you come at with arguments like that. But I'm just trying to, you know, clarify this stuff for John Doe, man, because he acts like he doesn't understand things no matter how many times you explain it to him. If you want to see a good example, go to my last video. He was arguing with a subscriber of mine named Really Buff Llama. Really Buff Llama was answering all his questions, but John Doe likes to do this whole little thing where he says you're running around the questions even though you're answering it. It's blatantly that, you know, clear that you're answering everything for him, but he'll say, oh, you're just running away from it, you're not even trying to answer what I'm saying. And then he'll throw out some completely different argument that makes no sense. And then if you pull something out that is definitely related to the topic, but it's just something else to clarify for you, he'll say you're using a straw man, which is using wrongly, but he got that from the EA Sports community, who all use it wrong, because a straw man argument is a superficial rebuttal, like just something that is just so out there that it really will really work, but you use it in an argument, something like that. So that's basically what he's doing with the straw. I mean, that's what straw man means, and they're just using it wrong because normally people don't do that. So I don't understand why he never understands stuff. So hopefully he'll understand this video. So the next reason why Sony beats Xbox is because of the whole being able to trade your game and borrow it and stuff like that. Sony is allowing that because he sent me this article here like, no, Sony has DRM, because I was saying, you know, Xbox has DRM, and he was right. Sony does have DRM, but they're leaving it up to the publishers to do whatever they want to the game, meaning they're leaving it up to them if they want to put an online pass or limit some access for another code or something like that. But other than that, they're not doing it. So basically they're saying it's just like how it is now with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. But the Xbox, on the other hand, they're saying the same thing though, but on top of that, they have this little doohickey here where if you want to let someone borrow the game, they have to be on, I don't know why I opened that because I already had it. If you want to let somebody borrow your game, they have to be on your friends list for 30 days. And then once you get the game back on your console, it's no longer able to be borrowed or sold. You see? Loaning or renting games won't be available at launch. Look at that. You can't even loan or rent games at launch. Why would we want that? And you don't believe me? Look, it's right here. And you can say, oh, this is the article. It's on Xbox.com too. So this is Xbox.com. Where is it? Loaning or renting games won't be available at launch. But we're exploring their possibilities with our partners. So they're saying they don't even know if they're going to even allow it. Why would you want that? Why would you want that right taken from you when Sony is allowing it? On top of that, you don't have to, I don't think you have to install games on your PlayStation 4. You could just buy the disc and play it on the disc, I believe, or you can install it on your hard drive. Microsoft is basically doing what a PC is. But isn't a console supposed to be a console but not a PC? You know, you buy PCs to, I mean, if you want to be a hardcore gamer, but you buy a console for accessibility. It's supposed to be easier. You plug it up, you put the game in, you play, not install it. If you want to let someone borrow the game, you let them borrow it. You don't have to worry about a restriction. That's a console. But Microsoft's like, nah, we're not allowing that, yo. We're making this basically a full-fledged low-end PC. That's basically all it is. But yes, they have it so you can have a shared folder. So if you're on the family plan or whatever like that, you can play the game wherever you want. You can go over homeboy's house and play it. If you pull up the shared folder, you can play whatever game that's on that folder. But you have to install it. And that's how it works, because Steam does the same thing. If I want to play my Steam games on my other computer, I will have to install the games separately. It'll have all the games that I bought, but instead of saying play, it'll say install. Then I have to install it. That's how it works. And don't try to say, well, cloud makes install go faster, because if you didn't know, I'll show you right now. Steam has had cloud for the longest. Enable Steam cloud synchronization for Counter-Strike Source. Steam has cloud for like what, about 3-4 years now. So I understand how cloud works. You know, it's something new to consoles. It's new to the Xbox 360 and PS4, but Steam has, you know, Steam has it, so I know how it works, man. So I don't want to hear that whole argument about it downloading fast. It depends on your internet So if you have a slow internet, you're done. Another reason, you don't have to check in on your PlayStation 4. Xbox, you have to check in. And what that means is in 24 hours on your console, or I think on another console it's like up to an hour, you could play your game. But after that 24 hours, you got to check in on the next 24 hours on your Xbox with online. Or you won't be able to play your games online. I mean, no, you won't even play games offline. If you don't check in online at all for a day, you have to just watch television or Blu-ray. You just can't play your games, which doesn't make any sense because Steam has basically the same thing. But on Steam, I can go offline and still play my games. It's called offline mode, but I can still play my games. I just can't play them online, as in no multiplayer online. I can't go against other people around the world, but I can still play my games offline. But on the Xbox, if you don't check in, then you can't play your game offline. And I know y'all like, well, who doesn't have internet? Well, there's been times when my house was wired wrong and my internet connection was real weak and I couldn't hold a connection, and it actually went out for a whole month one time. Also, there's times where people are cutting out around my apartment complex and they'll cut the wires and my internet goes out. And I don't know if you guys know, but Comcast takes up to 3 days to come and answer a call. Like, you have to set appointments, and it's normally like 3 or more days before they come to your house. So we had to wait a while for them to come to my house to fix the wires and stuff like that. So yeah, that can happen. And then you say, well, you can use your cell phone. Well, what if I didn't pay my bill? What if I couldn't afford my phone and my phone's off? So I'm just out of luck, right? I just gotta watch television. PlayStation, you don't have to worry about none of that. That's something you don't have to worry about with PlayStation 4. Meaning, this is why PlayStation wins. I don't understand why y'all don't understand. So what the world is that? So I don't understand why it's so hard to understand. Sorry, somebody, my little nephew came in. I don't understand why y'all don't understand that, man. So this is why it's a problem, yo. This is why it's a problem. Second thing, well, the last thing is the pricing altogether. Okay, now Xbox is $500, PlayStation is $400. All right, and I know y'all saying, well, look, it's the Kinect. Like, why would we know? It's going to cost more because Kinect is like $900. No, it's not $900. It's like $99.99. So it's $100. So that's why it costs $100 more. But who uses Kinect though? Like, nobody likes Kinect. The Kinect is horrible. It still has latency problems. They said they fixed the latency a little bit, but it's less laggy than it was before. So it's still laggy. I was watching the guy test it, and it was still lagging behind him. The Kinect is horrible. Like, nobody wants to use motion control. Sorry for that. Sorry. This is live, yo. This is live. Nobody wants to use motion controls, yo. Sony didn't opt to put in, the little camera and the motion controller because no one likes it. If you want to use motion, you go out and buy it. It shouldn't be forced on you like the Xbox is. Like, I think you can't even turn your Xbox on without the Kinect being plugged up. It has to be plugged up. You can have it set off and on, as you see right here. You can have it set off and on, but you still, I think you have to turn it on with the thing. I'm not sure if they have a button on it or not, but they want you to use that voice control to navigate through your stuff. So it can be off all at once, but if you guys never heard about cell phones and how the FBI and stuff actually can tap your cell phone even when it's off, even people can find little programs to look at you through your camera on your cell phone even though it's off. That happens. People can do that. So even if your little joint is off, if you get hacked, somebody can still see what you're doing. So it's just an invasion of privacy. I don't really want to support that. But look, if you want to get both the consoles, I don't have a problem. If you want to get a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One, if you got the money, go ahead and do that. But I'm just saying, the PlayStation is the better buy. If you get a PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 4 both, I suggest getting all the multiplats and stuff on the PlayStation 4. And then with the Xbox One, just get the exclusives. And just use your controller. That's the only thing I can say about that. Other than that, get a Nintendo Wii because it seems like it's better than the Xbox One anyway. And I'm not trolling. But if you think about it, they showed 13 exclusives, and they don't have none of these other restrictions that Xbox One has. So at the moment, even Nintendo is actually pretty much the better buy than Xbox One. It's not as stronger as a console, but in the end, it's still better. But anyway, man, I hope I got everything out there for y'all slaves, man. I hope y'all understood everything. I hope you could comprehend that because I know y'all don't have that book learning. So y'all, slaves, y'all not allowed to go to school. Microsoft don't allow that. Your master don't allow that. Master Xbox, man, we always gonna be with you, master. We bees with you all day. But anyway, man, it's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan of gaming, and I'm gone. Bye.